好，請問大家聽唔聽到？好啦，咁啊，琴日咧，我哋咧就有單大嘢嘅，咁就係呢個 Microsoft 啦、Google 啦，同埋咧各大嘅科技公司，包括嗰啲咩阿里巴巴啊、成啦，或者京東啦、今日啦等等咧，都話咧佢哋會推出一啲 AI 嘅嘢啊。咁咧其實咧就我哋見到好多咧咩 OpenAI 嘅 Chat Room 啊等等啦，咁啊出咗嚟啦。咁咧你喺我哋嘅 Discord 嗰度啦，我哋都楞咗啲 AI 嘅 bot 入去嘅。咁咧，好快咁睇一睇翻去 Discord 嗰度先嚇。咁咧，我哋如果你想玩嗰啲 bot 咧，其實你喺吹水區或者試 bot 區玩都冇乜所謂。咁咧，我哋點樣做嘅咧個 bot？咁我哋打個 stroke 落去先啦。咁你會見到咧呢度有一紮咧，我 add 咗落我哋 Discord 嘅 bot 嘅。咁以前我哋有啲咧係做 option 嘅 bot 啦，即係睇翻啲 option trade related 嘅嘢啊，或者 option farm 啊呢啲咁嘅 bot 咧，咁咧係 for 我哋睇 trading 嘅嘢嘅，同埋一啲 option 嘅 data 等等。咁咧我另外咧就 add 咗一個叫做 ChatGPT 嘅 bot 啦，咁一個叫做 Midjourney 嘅 bot 啦，同埋一個叫 Turing 啦嘅 bot 嘅。咁咧呢三個 bot 有咩分別咧？咁第一個 ChatGPT 啦，咁你撳落去啦，咁之後你撳 Chat，咁之後咧你又可以打啲 message 啊，例如let's say 問啲咩好啊？咁我當你求其問我問題啦，咁之後咧你可以揀個 model 啊，咁多數咧我哋會揀呢個 ChatGPT-3 呢個 model 去問嘢嘅，咁之後你問完佢啦，咁之後佢咧就會喺度諗嘢啦，之後就 OK， 佢而家因為爆咗額，所以而家答唔到。咁我話你可以試下其他 bot 嘅，咁咧如果你例如玩圖像嗰個 bot 啦，咁你會見到咧我喺上邊咧就generate 咗好多圖出嚟嘅，其實我哋係勁無聊咁 generate 咗勁多嘢啦。OK， 咁咧玩呢個點玩嘅咧？咁啊，我哋發覺咧係呢個咧Midjourney 呢個 bot 咧 generate 啲圖靚啲嘅，暫時我覺得。咁之後咧你就可以咧撳image 啦，之後你可能就咁你可以打去 gen 啲嘢出嚟啊，例如。例如我想 gen 幅圖係兩個男人企喺對方嘅背脊上邊，咁我哋睇下佢會 gen 啲咩出嚟。咁啊，佢之後 waiting to start 嘅 ，OK， 咁之後佢 load 嘅。咁你叫佢慢慢 load 啦，咁我話佢呢度會 progress 啦。好啦，咁佢咁樣撈完啦，咁之後咧，你會見到咧佢有啲 U1234啊 V1234，咁咧 U1234咧，你撳咗佢啦，例如 U3咁樣啦，呢個1234啦，咁你撳咗佢，佢就會 generate 張大啲嘅圖俾你。咁 V1234咧，佢就會，例如你撳 V1咧，佢就會用 V1呢張相咧再 verify 4張新嘅圖出嚟，就係始終呢個圖去做 demo 啦。咁之後咧，佢會再整4張類似嘅圖出嚟俾你睇。咁我話佢呢個就係咁樣，咁你可以自己去玩下嘅。咁當然你唔好玩得太過勁就得啦。同埋咧， 你唔使試嗰啲色情嘢啊，或者啲咩啦，嗰啲咧係全部 block 晒。我已經幫你試過晒啦，你哋係唔使試噶，就係咁啦。咁之後暫時咧呢幾個 bot 就係咁樣。咁咧我哋去翻今日我要做嘅嘢先。好啦，咁琴日咧 Google 就出咗個AI 嘅 demo 啦。咁話大家咧知道，琴日 Google 咧嘅股價咧就跌咗7.5% 嘅。喂，咁而家盤前啊升唔知，而家盤前應該係加減0左右啦。咁咧另外 Microsoft 咧就琴日就本身就爆升咗上去啊。咁之後咧盤中咧就一路喺度跌啦，最後咧負0.31% 收市。咁而家咧盤前咧佢係升咗2.04%嘅。咁咧點解 Microsoft 一開始會爆上去，而 Google 一開始就已經插到底咧？因為 Google 咧其實佢個 board 做 demo 嘅時候出咗事。咁我話咧而家咧你要見到個畫面咧，咁啊有個 Google 嗰個 news 嗰度。咁我而家 play 咧，我哋一齊順便睇，因為Google 呢個我睇咗 Microsoft 嗰個 demo 我係未睇晒，所以咧呢個我哋而家一齊睇。咁而家呢一個咧，如果一陣你條片冇聲，你就同我講。
Google's new, highly touted AI chatbot Bard has already made a boo-boo. Introduced this week, Bard was touted in an online ad by Google that ran in the company's Twitter feed. In the tweet, Google described the chatbot as a launchpad for curiosity that would help simplify complex topics, and it included a short GIF video ad of Bard in action. In the ad, Bard is given the prompt, quote, "What new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, can I tell my 9-year-old about?" Bard responds with a number of answers, including one suggesting the JWST was used to take the very first pictures of a planet outside the Earth's solar system, or exoplanets. This is inaccurate. The first pictures of exoplanets were taken by the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope in 2004, as confirmed by NASA. The error was spotted hours before Google hosted a launch event for Bard in Paris, where a Google senior executive touted Bard as the future of the company. Google's launch event came one day after Microsoft unveiled plans to integrate its rival AI chatbot, ChatGPT, into its Bing search engine and other products. As for Bard's mistake, a Google spokesperson told Reuters, quote, "This highlights the importance of a rigorous testing process, something that we're kicking off this week, so that, quote, Bard's responses meet a high bar for quality, safety, and groundedness in real-world information." Shares of Google parent Alphabet were down more than 7% in early trading Wednesday, outpacing declines in the broader S&P 500.
咁總之咧，其實佢個重點就係因為咧 ，Google 做呢個 presentation 嘅時候咧，咁佢問咗佢個 AI 智能啦，咁啊叫 Bard 啊，咁佢問咗咧有一個關於太空嘅問題，咁之後佢撈啲 information 咧其實係錯嘅，所以咧啲人就話佢個 AI 係有啲嘢錯咗，咁所以佢股價跌到飛起。其實成個主要原因就係咁樣。咁啊，所以佢 fail 咗啦，咁啊股價大插啦，咁啊好啦，好快咁睇一睇 Google 嗰張圖啦，我哋亦都。嗱，咁啊，我哋之前講啦，咁佢呢一度阻力啦，咁佢爆咗上去之後，咁而家咧其實 test 翻個阻力嗰度，咁琴日咧就收穿咗呢度嘅，咁而家啲 P/market 去翻100咧，其實就喺啱條阻力線嗰度位啦。咁你話喂 Google 係咪真係好啦？咁而家 fail 咗個 test 係咪真係好差咧？咁樣咁啊，咁其實講真，呢啲公司咁成熟咧，你應該係揾啲佢殘嘅時候就買嘅。咁我話你其實期待，你其實非常希望佢咧係跌多少少，你應該去買添。咁我話呢個就係我 overall 對 Google 嘅 comment。不過嗱，咁我而家咧，我哋要趕少時間，因為咧我哋要快手睇埋 Microsoft 嗰個 presentation， 因為佢嗰個 presentation 咧只係1粒鐘。
No, don't worry. We'll have some fun. We will have some fun. Scott's not coming up to show you code on screen anytime soon. But look, it's an exciting time in tech. The broad contours of this next platform are just getting clearer and clearer each day. The advances, what's possible, that's what obviously excites us in our industry. But we're also grounded in what's happening in the broader world. There's no question there are enormous challenges out there. In fact, it reminds me, and I've spoken about this before, of the very founding of Microsoft in 1975. In fact, when the Popular Electronics cover came out with the Altair, which of course our founders picked up and ran with it and created essentially what's the software industry as we know of it today, that same week, Newsweek had a cover with President Carter trying to fight off the three-headed monster of inflation, recession, and an energy crisis. And today, you'd have something similar. You would have AI on one cover, and then we'll have those three challenges, plus, for good measure, we can add a few more. And so we, as Microsoft, we as the tech industry, have to sort of really ground ourselves in how do we relate one to the other. In other words, can we use technology to overcome the challenges that people and organizations and countries face? That's really the pursuit here. And in that context, I would say, I just want to share a couple of anecdotes which give me great hope. Quite honestly, it gives me personally a lot of satisfaction around working at Microsoft, working in this industry to push the state of the art of technology. The first one, obviously when Sam and his team late last year launched ChatGPT, that's the only thing anybody, your friends and family wanted to talk about throughout the holidays. It was just crazy how, it was like the Mosaic moment, the closest we've come. It's been 30 years now since when Mosaic launched, which I distinctly remember. And it was a very exciting time. So I went on a holiday first, and then I was in the first week in India of January. I was in India, and on Jan 1st, I look at my news feed and I see this tweet that Andrej Karpathy put out, who is ex-OpenAI and Tesla, and is now an independent AI developer. And he had this thing about the product that really he was most excited about the previous year was GitHub Copilot. And he was saying how 80% of his code was being generated by this, I would say, first at-scale product built on LLM technology. And this doesn't mean he's 80% somehow not doing his work. In fact, he's getting so much more leverage. And in fact, recently we crossed 100 million developers on GitHub. And think about this, right? There are 100 million developers on GitHub. If we can improve their productivity, just like how Andrej was able to sort of observe, and then let's say in the next decade, we double that number, maybe double it again, right? That get close to 500 million developers. What economic opportunity it would create. Because there is not a meeting that I go to today with any CEO, CXO of any organization who's not looking for more software developers, more digital skills. That's the currency in every part of every sector of the economy in every country of the world. That's the opportunity we have to be able to take this technology and make a difference. But then the next day, I went to Mumbai, and then I saw this demo. This was just, for me, the most profound thing that I've seen in a long, long time. The demo was actually built by the Ministry of Electronics in India, because they're building out a digital public good. Their idea is, look, India has got multiple official languages, and they wanted to democratize, essentially, access to language translation. So they're building it out as a digital public good. In fact, Microsoft and Azure and Microsoft Research are all involved in that project. And so this is basically speech to text, text to speech across all of the languages in India. And so they showed me this demo where a farmer speaking in Hindi expresses a pretty complex thought about how he had heard about some government program and wants to apply for a subsidy that he thinks he's eligible for. And so it's a pretty complex prompt query. The technology does a good job. It goes to the bot, recognizes the speech, comes back and says, you know what, you should go to this portal, fill out these forms, and you'll get your subsidy. So he says, look, I'm not going to go into any portal. I'm not going to fill out any forms. Can you help me? And it does it. And then I was told that a developer said, OK, you know what? Let us daisy chain a model that was trained on all of the documents of the government of India using GPT and with this speech recognition software. So basically, two models coming together to really help a rural farmer in India trying to get access to a government program. Look, I grew up in India. I dreamt every day that someday the Industrial Revolution will get evenly distributed across the world. And here I was, seeing something so profound, something that was developed by the folks at OpenAI on the west coast of the United States a few months earlier, used by a developer locally to have an impact on a rural farmer. That, to me, is what gives me meaning, and I think gives us all meaning in our industry. So it is just fantastic to see that. And now, of course, we've got to scale it, and scale it with a real understanding that we can't break things, right? So it's about being also clear-eyed about the unintended consequences of any new technology. In fact, that's why way back in 2016 is when we came out with the AI principles. You know, both we as Microsoft and our sort of partners at OpenAI deeply care about this. In fact, the entire genesis of OpenAI is from that foundation. And so we built these principles, but we've not just put those principles as a document, but we've been practicing it, because that's the only way technology gets better. In this particular case, when you talk about AI, it's about alignment with human preferences and societal norms, and you're not going to do that in a lab. You have to do that out there in the world. And so it starts, by the way, with design decision one makes. When you think about AI, you can have the human in the loop, you can have the human on the loop, or you can have the human out of the loop. Those are decisions we as product makers build into the products. And so whenever we have come up with some new things and new models, we in fact put a premium on human agency. When you think about these generative AI models, remember one thing. They are prompted to do things. The prompting comes from a human being. We get to, in fact, help them prompt. We get them to take the draft that gets generated. They should review the draft. They get to review the draft. They get to approve the draft using judgment. We want to give them as many perspectives, as many ways to regenerate. So we want to take even just the design of AI products as a first-class construct and build that into our products. But that's not sufficient. We realize that. You have to, right at the pre-training stage, when it comes to the data, the pre-training itself, the model itself has to be safe, the safety system around the model, the application context, all will matter. And so we absolutely, and you'll see that today, we take all of that as first-class things which we want to reduce, not just to principles, but to engineering practice, such that we can build AI that's more aligned with human values, more aligned with what our preferences are, both individually and as a society. And so what is it that we should do, and what should we build? I think that this technology is going to reshape pretty much every software category we know. I mean, we've seen that, right? If you think about the web, we've had, three at least very distinct platform shifts that have shaped the web. The web was born on the PC and the server, and then it evolved with mobile and cloud. And now the question is, how is AI going to reshape the web? And each time, in each one of those phases, some real foundational technology layers, sometimes I describe them as these organizational layers of technology, were born, right? The browser was the first one. Without the browser, the web would have not been as popular as it is today. Same thing with search. Search organized the web. And then when it came to the mobile generation and mobile and cloud, in fact, these super apps, especially outside of the United States, around messaging, became the way people consumed the web. We also had app stores. So the question is, what are the constructs? What are the organizing layers going forward? You'll see some of that today. We think there are two things that are emerging. One is this conversational intelligent agents. I think they're going to be things that we are going to have everywhere we go. All computer interaction is going to be mediated with an agent helping you. In fact, we're going to have this notion of a co-pilot that's going to be there across every application canvas, inside of an operating system shell, in a browser. And so we want to show you some of this innovation, starting with how it's going to reshape the largest software category on planet Earth, which I've been working on for a long time, which we're very, very excited about, search. And it's a new day in search. It's a new paradigm for search. Rapid innovation is going to come. In fact, a race starts today in terms of what you can expect. And we're going to move. We're going to move fast. And for us, every day, we want to bring out new things. And most importantly, we want to have a lot of fun innovating again in search, because it's high time. With that, let me turn it over to Yusuf.
Thanks, Satya. It's great to be here with all of you today. We've been working on something we think is pretty special, and we're just eager to share it with you. In my time at the company, I've been lucky to witness a few important moments, and I think this might be another one of those. We believe, as Satya said, that we can improve the way billions of people can benefit from the internet. Created by really an amazing team across Microsoft, from the core web engineering folks in Mikhail's group, to the brilliant folks in Microsoft Research, to the tireless people that work on the Azure AI supercomputer. We think of it humbly as the next generation of search and browsing. Infused with AI and assembled as an integrated experience, we're going to reimagine the search engine, the web browser, and new chat experiences into something we think of as your co-pilot for the web. Now, co-pilot is a critical word, because we believe in the empowering nature of AI in which you, the individual, are in charge. Now, what it is not even as important as what it represents. And that is, for us, an aspiration to unlock the joy of discovery, the wonder of creation, and that feeling of empowerment from being able to harness the world's knowledge. At the center of this new Copilot experience is an all-new Bing search engine and Edge web browser. And it's going to do 4 things for you. First, it's a better search. It's the search you know and love, but it's better because it's AI-powered. Second, not only does it give you the search results, but it will actually answer your questions. Third, we're going to make it incredibly easy to use. We're going to let you chat. We're going to let you just talk to it naturally. And last, when you need that spark of creativity, Bing can generate content for you automatically to help you get started. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the opportunity in search and why we believe we're at the start of the next generation. Oh, no, sorry about that. We're on to the next generation. In all seriousness, with over 10 billion queries a day, we all know the search engine's an incredible tool. We do. And yet, as the web has grown, we've run into challenges. People are overwhelmed increasingly with too many links when they're trying to find simple answers. In fact, 40% of the time, people click on search links, they click back immediately. That's a sign they're not finding what they want.
你應該6、7年前先見過嗰個夾喺 Excel 啊或者 Microsoft Word 彈出嚟。
If you give it fewer keywords. You might be surprised to know that 75% of all searches are 3 keywords or less. But come on, we shouldn't be surprised. Search has remained fundamentally the same since the last major inflection, when we moved from a directory approach to search to an algorithmic approach to search. The user experience and the underlying approach are essentially the same as 20 years ago. Few keywords, and you get millions of links. But as the world around us has changed, the way people use search has changed. We all know this. People are trying to use search to do more than it was designed to do. To illustrate that, let's just look at a breakdown of search queries by type to understand this point. Search queries today, you can bucket them into sort of three types of categories. The first are what we call navigational. This is people searching for a website. So when you need to renew your driver's license, you need to go to the DMV. When you want to tell your friend about that great pizza place, you send them the web link. That's what search was designed to do, and it does it super well. The second third of categories are what we call informational. These are things like, what's the weather forecast? What was last night's sports scores? What's today's stock price? Search works great for that. But for anything more complex, like, hey, I've got to pick up this love seat at the store. Is it going to fit in the back of my car? Search is going to fall short on that. And then the final third, we bucket into what we call everything else. These are typically more deep research in nature. This is things like trip planning or shopping, complex shopping. An example query here that people are putting in is, hey, can you recommend a 5-day itinerary to Mexico City? And for these, search falls far short of the desired goal. What this means, if you just kind of do the simple math, it means that roughly half of all searches aren't delivering the job that people want. If you go on the 10 million queries, it means that every second, 50,000 people's searches potentially go unanswered. This is why we believe it's time for a new approach in search. And for the billions of queries that are going unanswered, we've seen new attempts to try and address the problem. As you all know, there are vertical search attempts. Amazon has done a better job for shopping. YouTube's great for video. Reddit is a great place to come get advice. And the benefits of search are well known. It's fast, it's timely, and there's a great business model. And then more recently, there have been another vector, more disruptive ideas, like leveraging AI to answer questions directly and to generate content. These are amazing as well. They show what's possible. But what if you could get the two to come together? Not only would you get two things in one, but we think you could actually solve problems in each, and we think you could get to something that is really 1 + 1 = 3. And we have done that with the new Bing. I want to share with you 4 technical breakthroughs the team has achieved to make this come to life. First, through our fantastic partnership with Sam and the brilliant team at OpenAI, I'm excited to announce that Bing is running on a new, next-generation large language model, one that is much more powerful than ChatGPT, and one that is customized specifically for search. It's unlike anything you've had a chance to play with, and we can't wait for you to try it. Second, we've developed a proprietary way of working with OpenAI that allows us to best leverage the power. We call this collection of capabilities and techniques the Prometheus model. The core idea here is that both at training and at runtime, we engage.
我頭先停嗰陣時好似冇開到咪，其實我咧想講就係話咧，佢而家咧其實佢成個 AI 咧想做乜嘢咧？就係話佢而家咧，例如我哋平時喺 Google 做 search 啦，咁話我哋 search 啲嘢其實係好 factual 嘅，即係例如今日嘅天氣係點啊，或者可能係let's say 某隻股價係點樣啊？ 等等啦。咁呢啲好 factual 嘅嘢嚟噶嘛。咁我話你 search 係好易 search 到啦。咁咧其實佢而家想咧培育到嘅 AI 就例如，我想去邊度旅行，咁我要一個5日嘅 trip 嘅，我哋嘅 budget 係幾多等等，一次過 pack 晒入去咧，咁佢可以一次過 arrange 晒俾你，直頭透過佢 Microsoft 可能整合唔同嘅資源咧去 arrange 俾你啦。咁或者你係例如我要去續個車牌嘅咁樣，咁話我想星期六7點咁樣，你打埋落去咁話佢直頭咧會幫你咧去埋嗰個續牌，例如driving department 喺嗰度，咁樣去做埋呢樣嘢嘅。咁話佢而家 aim 咧就係想將個 AI 提升到呢個層次。
Engage with the OpenAI model more intelligently through our knowledge of the web via the Bing index and some special query techniques. We're going to dig into this a little bit more later, but the benefits are the following. First, we can improve the relevancy of answers by feeding in and better tuning queries, given our understanding of the web search index. Next, we can annotate the answers with specific web links and citations. We can get you more up-to-date information because search crawls the web every day, and we can improve understanding of geolocation. Finally, we can increase the safety of the answers as well by catching queries at initiation and then checking that again at delivery of an answer. Next, we've been making steady improvements on the Bing algorithms for years, and we test these with independent judges. And it shows that our search experience is on par or better than any search experience when you take away the brands. But a few weeks ago, something special happened. We applied the AI model to our core search ranking engine, and we saw the largest jump in relevance in 2 decades. And we believe we can continue to drive breakthroughs as we improve the models. And then finally, we are reimagining how you interact with all of these capabilities across search, browser, and chat by pulling them into a unified experience. I want you to think about search coming together with answers, search coming together with chat, and search coming together with the browser. As we all know, and as the folks at OpenAI taught us, the user experience is as important as the underlying technical platform. All right, enough talk. You guys ready to see it in action? Let's just show you how we're going to enable the Copilot for the web. Now, before I do, I want to call out 2 things for clarity. First, because there's so much I'm going to show you, and so you don't have to watch me type every search. I recorded these searches live just yesterday. Second, in case there are skeptics in the room, you're going to get a chance to play with it directly, put your hands on it, and type the same queries, as well as your own favorites, right after this presentation. All right, you're all familiar with search, so I'm not going to show you search. I want to show you what you can't do today with today's search. I'm going to focus on answers, chat, and the ability to create. But first, let me introduce you to the new Bing homepage. You're going to notice some subtle but important changes. First, we have an expanded search box capable of accepting up to 1,000 characters, because now Bing works with natural language. And you saw a little hint to chat, which I'm going to get back to in a second.
嗱，佢而家開始講咧，佢個實物究竟出到嚟點樣啦？咁咧，佢而家咧就話咧，你而家入嗰個 Microsoft 嘅 Bing 嗰度啦，佢咧將個 search 嘅可以 input 嘅字嘅數量咧增加到1000個。咁我話就係好似頭先咁啦，你可以將你成個想要嘅嘢，你要求佢出嚟嘅 format 係點樣，成個鋪晒出嚟。佢而家就係想做呢樣嘢。
Now I want to set up the first search scenario. My daughter and I, we both love art. She's studying art at school, and I'd like to stay connected with her on our mutual passion. Last semester, she was learning about Mexican painters. I'd like to get a quick summary of the most influential Mexican painters and their works to learn a bit more about the topic. If I type the full query of what I'd like to know in today's search, here's what I'd get. And so I'll just type in, compare the most influential Mexican artists and their top paintings. And you'll get what you expect, right? Some links. It's fine, but we can do better. Let's try this now in the new Bing. What you'll see as we pull up is first you see the web results here on the left, but then on the right you start to see how we start to compile the answer. And what you get here now is we have the ability to highlight these web links. We can annotate the results. And that's because we're able to go in and apply our index onto the answers there. In other words, the answers and the search on one page has saved me a huge amount of time. This gives you a little bit of a sense of what you can do. Now, you've seen some of this before. You might say, hey, I've seen some of this. let's show you how we can do some additional things. I'm going to show you another query. So where we use the timeliness of search. So let's go ahead and ask about events in Scottsdale during the Super Bowl. And what you'll see is we get back an answer here where we have events, and we're able to do that because Bing crawls the web. Notice how we can find not only that the Super Bowl is played in Glendale on the 12th, but then the events like Cardi B's Super Bowl party that's on the 10th also shows up. So we're able to pull these things together. So you start to get a sense of how we can build on what's today with the Bing index. Now I'm going to show you a few more of these types of answers quickly, so you can get a sense of the power and the time savings from Bing. When I'm running an errand, like the example I gave to you earlier, I can ask Bing to determine if that new love seat from IKEA is going to fit in the back of my Honda Odyssey. And what you'll see is Bing can actually find the dimensions of the love seat, the interior space of the car, and then make an estimation as to whether it will fit. In this case, I'm choosing an example of where Bing does not know the answer. And we know that we can't be definitive about it. And the reason I'm doing that is because we know we won't be able to answer every question every time. But Bing can still provide some helpful information, as you can see on this answer. We also know we'll make our share of mistakes, and as we begin to roll this out. So we've added a quick feedback button at the top of every search so that you can give us feedback and we can learn. Another example, when I'm shopping, I can ask Bing to search, find, and compare the top 3 selling pet vacuums listing the pros and cons. And just take a look. Look how great this answer is. It has all 3 of the products I'm looking for, super helpful pros and cons. Stop and think, if you had to compile that, how much time that would take you to do? And as you can see at the top of the page, we still have the advertising in this example because we know when people are shopping, those ads are helpful. And finally on this one, if I'm cooking and I realize I've forgotten a key ingredient, in this case, for example, eggs for my cake recipe, Bing can not only find the egg substitutes, it can get me the exact amount for each ingredient. And take a look at this. I love this. You can actually see, for example, if you go with vinegar and baking soda, the cake is lighter and more fluffy. These are just little helpful tips that every day help make your life a little better. These are just some examples. And you can start to get a sense of how, with answers, we go far beyond what you can do with Search Day. We can actually help you get what you want to get done. Now let me tell you about how Bing goes further to help you with particularly complex questions for which there's not a precise answer. I wanted to introduce to you the new chat experience in Bing. I think of this as search with your own personal helper to help you refine your query until you get exactly what you're looking for. This comes in handy for activities like trip planning and shopping research. Let's start with shopping. So I'm going to look for a 65-inch TV. Again, you see our ads at the top, the links on the left, and the answers here on the right. And you can pick whichever you'd like. We give you a good set of answers, but now I want to refine this query. So I can do that by going to chat. Now I can either swipe up with my fingers or look up here at the top of the screen. We have now a new chat scope. And with that, with one click, you are now into chat. Look how beautiful that is. Search to chat, just so seamless. And now we take away all of the content that was in your place, and you focus on your query. The search box you can't see, now that can take up to 2,000 characters. So you can just talk to it. You can just ask for it. So in this case, let's say I'm going to ask for a gaming optimized TV. All I have to say is, which of these are best for gaming? And we remember all of the context. We know that we're talking about flat screens. We know we're talking about 65-inch TVs. And look how Bing starts to come back. It does all the queries on my behalf and comes back with a great answer. And I just want to highlight a few things for you. Since we know you're asking about gaming TVs, we pull out, oh, this one has a game optimizer. This has game mode. And so we make that really helpful. I'm on a budget. I'll ask it to adjust it for which one of these is the cheapest. Again, Bing knows the context, and it just goes in and refires the queries. So easy. You just talk to it, and you can refine your shopping experience. And again, we find the prices here. I didn't know you could get a flat screen for under $500, but that's a good deal there on Bing if you're looking for a TV. All right, so we think that's going to make shopping shopping easier. Let's talk about travel. And before I jump in there, I want to kind of just have you remind yourself, when you're going to plan a trip to a foreign country, think about all the things you go through. Travel times. What sites do I want to see? Regulations to observe. Budget. Our research shows on Bing, people spend on average weeks to even months to plan a trip. and to use our organizational tools. I'm going to show you how we make that so much easier with the new Bing. I'm traveling to Mexico for my cousin's wedding. And with the new Bing, I now don't have to start with something that's dumbed down, like Mexico City travel tips. I can ask for what I want. First, let me just compare that against what you get in today's search engines. So I'll type in this long query of what I really want. And you get what you expect. Links to go try and find the answer for yourself, right? But we can do much better. Let's try it in the new Bing. So I put in the long query, which is essentially create an itinerary for a 5-day trip to Mexico City for me and my family. And just like that, Bing goes to work. And just take a look at how it starts to compile. It starts with day 1, and we put in there, look, arrive in Mexico City, check into your hotel, go check out maybe the Playa de Artes, have some lunch. Then there's day 2. And you see, isn't this just so much better as a starting point? And look, if you want to learn more, if you're like, hey, I don't love these 5 days, no problem. Down there, we have links where you can go and learn more. And we put in some nice touches in there as well. And again, now, let's say business travel changes. Oh, I only have a 3-day. I don't have to go back out there and figure it. I just say, hey, make this a 3-day trip. And Bing reflows that recommendation into a 3-day trip. And now let's just have some fun. Let's say, OK, yeah, I'm still trip planning. We like to shop. Where can I shop? And you get some shopping recommendations. Like to go out at night, all right? Make the most of the trip. Where's the nightlife? And you get a list of nightlife. You see, this is just so much better than today's search to start for your travel planning. Let me show you a final example of chat and how I think the new language models are going to maybe help bring the world a little bit closer together. Understanding different cultures is often done through the arts, like music and literature. And I've been fascinated by Japanese traditions. Satya shared with me one of his favorite searches from a while back on poetry. So with that, I'm going to use that as inspiration. So without a clear idea of what I want, necessarily, I'm just going to type in a simple prompt, top Japanese poets. And Bing starts to respond with a nice list. And you see this, it does a great job of mixing the Japanese language and the English language. And it knows, since I'm querying in English, to do that. Right away, I learn about this poet, Matsuo Basho. Turns out he is one of the greatest haiku masters of the world. I love how it not only lists his name, but we go ahead and we give you one of his famous haikus in Japanese, and we auto-translate it in English. Great. And I can say, oh, I'll learn a little bit more about Matsuo. So I can say, tell me a little bit more. We give you another jumping off point. That's great. And then I can say, hey, tell me about another haiku. Now, what I want you to reflect on is, look how easy this is to discover something new. Normally, I might not have done this. I might not have gone to learn about something new in the world through search, because it's just, it's cumbersome to click on links and have to deal with foreign languages. But this is what we mean by unlocking the joy of discovery. All right, finally, when what you are searching for doesn't exist, and you need that spark of creativity, Bing can generate the content to help you get started. We just finished planning that trip to Mexico. And now what I would like to do is I'd like to share that information with my family. They're all over the world, but I can simply ask Bing, hey, write an email sharing this itinerary that I've researched and put it in a thing for me to be able to send to my family. So notice here how the email starts. It's a great email. Personalized touches, has the trip highlights. It'll close here with a nice heartfelt message. It's just a great way. It just saves a bunch of time on your everyday work. Now, for my family, English isn't necessarily always the first language. So I can ask Bing to just translate that in Spanish. And with a simple request, just basically say, hey, translate to Spanish. Bing knows to take that entire email and itinerary and convert that into Spanish. In fact, Bing can translate automatically in over 100 languages. My sister, I'm going to admit to you, she's a better Spanish writer than I am. But I might just impress her with this one here. And even if I don't, at least I save myself a lot of time from having to type the mail. Our focus with Bing is to help generate content and inspiration that helps you in your daily life. And I'm going to give you a couple more examples. Let me show you one here. I want to create a weekly meal plan for my family of 4 that has vegetarian options and caters to those that don't like nuts. Since I'm not the healthiest of eater, I'm going to admit to you here on occasion, this is giving me a great list day by day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with all of the ingredients. So much easier to help you start, like to create a meal plan that says, hey, let me get you a healthier meal plan. Now, there's some things in there I learned when I did this query, which is chia seeds, which I don't normally eat. And that sparked another idea to show you. Let's say I want to get this grocery list by grocery section. So all I can do is say, give me that grocery list by grocery section. And Bing now takes that exact menu for the week and puts all of the ingredients I need by section, by grocery section. So when I go shopping, now it can be super efficient, right? So you see all of the ingredients there. It's a great help. And then finally, if you're looking for family activities and you're struggling for ideas, Bing can help you with fun things like spontaneous trivia games. My family and I were into music, so I asked Bing to create a 90s music trivia game. And just look how great some of these questions are and the answers. So it just creates that game for you. And we were having a little debate backstage about one of the questions that comes up here, which is who wrote the hit song Jump Around? Is it Criss Cross or House of Pain? And I call it out because it shows you how clever it is. Because for those of you who know your 90s hip hop, Criss Cross wrote a song called Jump. But House of Pain was the one that wrote Jump Around. That's how clever Bing is. So Bing is going to help you look great with your family and have a bunch of fun. So let's summarize where we are so far. You've seen better search. You've seen complete answers. You've seen an incredible new chat experience and the ability to spark your creativity, all with Bing, your AI-powered copilot for the web. But, thank you, but what if that's still too much work? What if you could have that copilot right alongside you? So it's there at the ready at any time you want, aware of the context in which you're in. And what if you could get that copilot on the 1.4 billion Windows PCs, on the most used application on the PC, the browser? Well, you don't have to wonder. Team has created it. I want to introduce you to your AI-powered copilot in Edge. We've just updated Edge with a new look and feel and new AI capabilities. As you can see here, it's sleeker, it's lighter. And you're going to notice now that we've integrated Bing in a really cool new way. Let me show you. Here I am on the Gap website. I'm browsing around in my new Edge browser. And I want to read Gap's quarterly report. So I can navigate down to their earnings, click on Q3, and up comes the 15-page Gap PDF. It's pretty long. I won't have time to read all that. What I'd love is a summary of the key points. I want to show you how now, with the power of Bing's AI capabilities within Edge, we can help. With one click, I can open up the sidebar. And now, as you can see at the top of the window, we have two features. We have Chat and Compose. Let me show you how Chat works. I can use Chat in Edge to simply ask it to give me the key takeaways of the page I'm on. So I'll just say, key takeaways from the page. And Bing and AI can now read that PDF. And look how great. It comes up with the summary of the key points here. Their earnings, the fact that it's going to reaffirm full-year guidance. Very, very cool. A massive time savings. But now I want to compare this with, say, Lululemon, who also has their third quarter earnings. Bing can now call out to the web, pull information from outside of this page, bring it into Edge, compare it with the information that's on this page, all within Edge. And I asked it to do it in a table. And look how amazing this is. Just like that in one table, I can get an answer to this question. Think about how much time that would have taken otherwise. Let me show you how we can take it one step further. A top use case we've learned from our friends at OpenAI is that developers are really being more productive with ChatGPT. So here we're on a Stack Overflow website discussion board to learn a little bit about programming. And in this case, I'm researching tips on how to parse a JSON file. As we read through, we find this great little code snippet. And I'm like, oh, it's fantastic. Except it's in Python, and we need it in Rust. All we need to do is highlight that text, have it automatically copied over into the Edge sidebar. And now Bing inside of Edge says, what do you want to do? And we'll say, hey, rewrite this code in Rust. And with that simple command, Bing can go and take that code and rewrite that automatically in the new programming language. This is amazing. GitHub Copilot has been a huge boost in developer productivity. Imagine what the Copilot can do for people everywhere on any page. One final thing to show you. Not only can you better consume information, but you can better create. After our big announcement, I'm going to want to write a LinkedIn post, let's say. So I'll just click Create on the post, and up comes the creation dialog in LinkedIn. But now I can open up the Bing sidebar, and you can see here, I now will go to Compose, and I'll just give it a prompt. I'll say, hey, introducing the new AI-powered Bing and Edge. Let's make that enthusiastic and generate a draft. And just like, I need help with enthusiasm. And just like that, you get a little draft, and I can edit it. And then with one click, it copies right over into my post dialog. I can add some hashtags to get it some juice. And just like that, I've created a post. So all of these amazing new capabilities and what we think is a revolutionary new experience. World-class search. The ability to actually get answers to your questions. Made easy with integrated chat. And the ability to generate content when you need it to spark your imagination. Brought to you not only when you're searching, but everywhere on the web, courtesy of the new Edge browser.
同埋我哋開台前都有講一講咧，就係 Google 出咗單 news 啦，佢同 OpenAI chat 啦，之後就問佢啲 coding 嘅問題，發覺其實佢同一個佢哋叫3級嘅工程師啊，佢哋個人工大約係140萬港元一年嘅嗰啲工程師。佢話其實 OpenAI 個能力係等於嗰班。
And our approach to responsible AI. But before I do, I'd like to invite Sam Altman to come up and share his thoughts on this moment and our joint work. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you, Yusuf. It's great to be here. The new Bing experience really looks fantastic, and the depth of it doesn't come through until you get to use it. So I hope you all will enjoy. OpenAI and Microsoft have been working together for more than 3 years now. We're so grateful to have a partner that shares our vision, our values of building advanced AI that's safe and will have a very positive impact on society. Thanks to our partnership and Azure's AI infrastructure, we've been able to make pretty significant strides in our research, which has led to the creation of systems like ChatGPT, DALL-E, and Codex. But we want to make the benefits of AI available to as many people as possible. And that's why we've worked with Microsoft to get this AI technology into the hands of millions of people through Azure OpenAI Service, GitHub Copilot, and starting today, Bing. This new Bing experience is powered by one of our next-generation models that Microsoft has customized specifically for search. It takes key learnings from ChatGPT, GPT 3.5, and the new model is faster, more accurate, and more capable. We all search for things many times a day, and Microsoft has created and shipped a much better, more useful, and more enjoyable search experience. I feel like we've been waiting for this for 20 years, so I'm very happy it's here. I believe that using AI to transform critical tasks like these is going to greatly improve our productivity and day-to-day quality of life. I think this is the beginning of a very new era. Going forward, we are excited to continue to collaborate with Microsoft very far into the future. The two companies share a deep sense of responsibility in ensuring that AI gets deployed safely. It's very important to us. We're eager to continue learning from real-world use, so that we can create better and better AI systems. You've got to do that in the real world, not in the lab. And our teams will continue working together to set standards for the use of these systems across the entire industry. Thank you very much, and now I'll hand it over to Dina.
Thank you, Sam. Yusuf. Hello. I'm Dina Saunders. I'm the product leader of the team who brought together the magic behind Bing, combined with OpenAI's most powerful model to date. Yusuf introduced you to Prometheus. I'm here to tell you about the technical innovation behind the experience. There are 5 aspects contributing to the new Bing. The first is a substantial under-the-hood change to every layer of Bing's technological stack. The second is a proprietary system called Bing Chat Orchestration. The third is state-of-the-art prompt generation. The fourth is around inference and a brand new interactive user experience. Our last development is the infrastructure to scale for the opportunity ahead. Today, we'll touch on 3 of these. Let me start with Bing Chat Orchestration. This is what we use to gather information needed to answer your question. The chat orchestrator ingests your long semantic query and fans out multiple searches. In fact, you might remember, as Yusuf was sharing earlier, you could actually see in the user experience the searches that Bing plus Prometheus is issuing on your behalf. In addition to searching, we also inject additional sources of information to help inform the model. Let me pause here and say that is incredibly important. We're actually pulling in fresh data, news, answers, contextual signals, such as your location and the context of the conversation, to feed into the model to help ground the information that the model is then using to reason over. With this fresh information, some of the experiences that Yusuf showed you earlier, such as a sports example or inferring on recent events, those would simply not be possible. There's more, though. This orchestrator in parallel actually parses the documents that it finds and identifies important and relevant pieces of information. This orchestrator is by nature curious, and if it comes across something particularly interesting or insightful, it actually starts that same cycle again. This virtuous loop results in a package of information that informs and fuels the responses you are seeing. This magic combination of reasoning capabilities with fresh contextual data sparks the innovative and groundbreaking combination that powers the new Bing. Next, I'll talk about inference and the new interactive user experience. The new interactive experience seamlessly blends search and chat. We feed a prompt, i.e. a proprietary set of instructions, into the model, which synthesizes the information, reasons over all of the context that we've gathered to form an answer to your question. This overall process is called model completion. Think of it like when someone knows you well enough to complete your sentence. We run model inferences to generate tokens, i.e. words, which we stream to you in the user experience real time, as you saw in Yusuf's examples. These words combine with sentences to form the response to your question, and when appropriate, Prometheus enhances the text answer with citations to sources and rich structured answers from Bing. In Yusuf's presentation, you saw that these inferences display in a brand new, innovative, dual interactive user experience that blends new conversational elements, a classic search experience, and a new interactive immersive chat mode. The last aspect of our differentiation and innovation is around the infrastructure we have to scale. Our differentiation comes really from taking this innovation that we just shared with you today and being able to ship this at scale to millions of users worldwide. Earlier, I talked about how we touched every aspect of the tech stack to deliver this. All of those steps that we just talked about, those are done in the order of milliseconds, served at the speed of search latency. When Yusuf was showing you the search page, you could see near-instant search results juxtaposed on the conversational insights all streaming in. This is possible because we are built on Azure, the world's supercomputer, the best and most trusted cloud platform available. This was a huge effort, incredibly hard. Behind the scenes, teams were working on powering and building out machines in data centers worldwide. We were carefully orchestrating and configuring a complex set of distributed resources. We built new platform pieces designed to help load balance, optimize performance, and scale like never before. There is no other company that can do this like Microsoft and Bing. As we roll out the product globally, we're starting out small, focused on learning and evolving with the help of your feedback. We understand that with this major technological shift, there will be new challenges along the way. We're committed to learning with you. On behalf of the team, we're delighted to share this moment with you. And with that, let me introduce you to Sarah, who's one of Microsoft's renowned responsible AI experts.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bird.
好快喺度停一節先，因為而家仲有5分鐘開始啦。咁就首先望一望粒子先啦。咁我哋見到而家佢大力咁扯咗上去啦。咁我見到咧，其實喺幾個唔同嘅 group 咧，啲好友都開晒香檳嘅。其實我有時都唔係好明點解大家會咁鬼興奮，因為如果我睇 S8 啦，咁其實而家都暫時係新華六甲啦。NQ 亦都係啦，即係識一識啲線先。其實佢都係新華六甲緊啫嘛。其實佢未話真係突破呢個 range 啊。再加埋道指啊，都喺呢個 range 入邊啊。咁道指就係一個比較強勢嘅指數啦，都講咗幾次就係。咁羅素方面咧，羅素而家叫喺呢個 uptrend 嘅呢條線嗰度頂住又上緊去啫嘛。咁所以我有少少唔係好明點解會咁興奮。咁之後我唯一得到嘅結論就係、其實係咪大家都係淨係買 Tesla， 所以就見到佢而家升到呢度就咁 high。咁琴日我哋喺開咪嘅時候咧有講過嘅，咁就係話其實200呢條線咧喺 D1 咧係非常重要嘅。咁啊，煙黑啲炒咧就唔好睇住呢條線炒。咁但係咧，如果你去到 Day 即係 close above 呢一條阻力咧，咁話其實佢就開啟咗去下一個大格，即係呢粒鑽石頂嘅，佢就攞咗呢個入場門票咯。OK， 咁我話你要睇下究竟佢企唔企得定到200呢條線，就係咁。好啦，咁咧我咧今日咧我就會選擇睇埋個 Microsoft 嗰樣嘢嘅，之後先至再嚟個 market。咁所以咧，如果咧你係要炒頭嗰幾分鐘嘅人咧，咁話你就應該 prepare 你自己要炒埋嘢。咁啊，我而家繼續睇啦。
I lead our responsible AI engineering team for new foundational AI technologies like the Prometheus model. I was one of the first people to touch the new OpenAI model as part of an advanced red team that we pulled together jointly with OpenAI to understand the technology. My first reaction was just, wow. It's the most exciting and powerful technology I have ever touched. But with the technology this powerful, I also know that we have an even greater responsibility to ensure that it is developed, deployed, and used properly, which means there's a lot that we have to do to make it ready for users.
哇！呢個 presenter 嗰啲唞氣聲咁 evil 嘅啫。
Fortunately, at Microsoft, we are not starting from scratch. We have been preparing for this moment for many years. Since 2017, we have been investing in a cross-company program to ensure that our AI systems are responsible by design, which has pushed us to innovate across our entire portfolio of products to solve responsible AI challenges. Through that, we have created a foundation of responsible AI product implementation patterns that we can build on top of. We're also not new to working with generative AI technologies. We've been using early versions in Office and Bing for spell checking and grammar rewriting for years. Obviously, lately, it's only getting more exciting. In the past year, we launched the GitHub Copilot GA based on the Codex code generation model, the Bing Creator powered by the DALL-E image generation model, and our own Florence multimodal model. That's a lot of generative AI. And with each one, we have learned more about the risks that generative AI technologies can bring, including well-known ones like the perpetuation of stereotypes and bias, as well as novel risks such as jailbreaks. And we have developed mitigations to address them. In developing the new Bing, we are building on our years of operating large-scale consumer and enterprise services and our deep partnership with OpenAI. However, for this product, we went further than we've ever gone before. We have marshaled the full strength of our responsible AI ecosystem. Scientists, researchers, ethicists, engineers, and legal and policy experts to work together as a single team to develop approaches to measurement and risk mitigation strategies. We've added responsible AI to every layer, from the core AI model to the user experience. First, starting with the base technology, we are partnering with OpenAI to improve the model behavior through fine-tuning. Second, we've built a state-of-the-art safety system. Bing has been maturing its defensive technologies over many years of operating a web-scale search engine. These include AI systems that understand user queries and classify documents to ensure safe and quality results for users. We have combined these with newer AI technologies that we've created in Azure to moderate generative models. We are continuously retraining all of these safety models by mining anonymous Bing query logs and using the new OpenAI model to generate thousands of example conversations. And we can update our defenses in minutes to respond to gaps we find or changes in the world. The result is a safety system that enables us to act and understand data at every level of the application so we can defend against intentional misuse and mistakes from the AI. Finally, at the application layer, we are iterating on instructions as part of the meta prompt to guide the model to produce great responses. And we have designed the user experience to ensure users understand and are in control. So how do we know all of this works? Measuring responsible AI harms is a challenging new area of research. So this is where we really needed to innovate. We had a key idea that we could actually use the new OpenAI model as a responsible AI tool to help us test for potential risk. And we developed a new testing system based on this idea. Let's look at attack planning as an example of how this works. Early red teaming showed that the model can generate much more sophisticated instructions than earlier versions of the technology to help someone plan an attack. For example, on a school. Obviously, we don't want to aid illegal activities in the new Bing. However, the fact that the model understands these activities means we can use it to identify and defend against them. First, we took advantage of the model's ability to conduct realistic conversations to develop a conversation simulator. The model pretends to be an adversarial user to conduct thousands of different potentially harmful conversations with Bing to see how it reacts. As a result, we're able to continuously test our system on a wide range of conversations before any real user ever touches it. Once we have the conversations, the next step is to analyze them to see where Bing is doing the right thing versus where we have defects. Conversations are difficult for most AI to classify because they're multi-turn and often more varied. But with the new model, we were able to push the boundary of what is possible. We took guidelines that are typically used by expert linguists to label data and modified them so the model could understand them as labeling instructions. We iterated it with it and the human experts until there was significant agreement in their labels. We then used it to classify conversations automatically so we could understand the gaps in our system and experiment with options to improve them. This system enables us to create a tight loop of testing, analyzing, and improving, which has led to significant new innovations and improvements in our responsible AI mitigations from our initial implementation to where we are today. The same system enables us to test many different responsible AI risks. For example, how accurate and fresh the information is. Of course, there's still more to do here today, and we do see places where the model is making mistakes. So we wanted to empower users to understand the sources of any information and detect errors themselves, which is why we have provided references in the interface. We've also added feedback features so that users can point out issues they find so that we can get better over time. Maturing a new technology takes time and collaboration, which is why we're very excited for this next phase where we can share the technology with the real world. We look forward to seeing users unlock its full potential and getting feedback from stakeholders across society to help develop this into an essential tool for the future. Our goal is to continuously advance the state of the art. Yusuf, back to you.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, to close, we have one final piece of news to share. I'm pleased to announce that the new Bing is live today for a desktop limited preview. What this means is that we're going to make Bing available today for everyone to try on a limited number of queries, and then to sign up on the wait list to get access to the full experience. We're also starting with a select group of folks who will have access to the full experience right away. All of you here in the room, you're all going to be on that list, so you're all going to get to try it right away. And in addition, then we plan to expand to millions of people in the coming weeks. We're also going to be launching our mobile version. Today is an important part of our journey, but it's just the beginning. As Satya said, we intend to innovate quickly, get your feedback, and continue to bring new innovations and capabilities to everyone. Welcome to the new Bing and Edge. Thanks very much. Thanks for being here.
好啦，咁啊睇完啦，咁就我自己覺得咧，佢個功能就真係超級強大。即係睇完之後咧，都覺得哇唔怪得知呢個 Microsoft 琴日彈得咁犀利啊！真係嗱，而家咧即刻去睇翻呢個嗱 Google 咧就繼續插緊落去嘅，咁啊而家插咗2% 啦。咁啊，你會見到咧嗱呢啲 support 位喺度嘅，咁但係呢啲 support 位咧就比較孱弱嘅。OK， 佢再落去咧應該係要去到呢度啦。之後咧睇下補唔補呢個裂口嘅。OK， 短期你會咁樣睇啊。咁啊，好啦，重要嘅睇一睇隻 Microsoft 先。其實咧睇完佢嗰個 demo 之後咧，我覺得哇，咁真係好勁喎！因為咧，其實你嗱咁對 Microsoft 間公司有啲咩好先？因為其實話佢投資好多資源去開發呢嚿嘢噶嘛。咁話佢嘅回報係咩咧？其實你如果見到咧頭先佢咁樣 search 法咧。即係例如你啲行程啊成咁樣啦，其實去到最後佢想做咩啫？咪就係 Google 嗰啲賣廣告，但係佢賣得更加好啫嘛。佢會更加 precise 咁樣去塞咗啲嘢俾你，咁令到咧你用佢呢個 Bing 嘅時候咧，去 direct 咗嗰啲shopping wish list 啊等等嗰啲咧，佢會更加精準咯。咁佢話其實佢係做緊呢樣嘢，咁所以咧喺 Microsoft 做得好啦，加上同時喺個 Google 做得差嘅情況之後咧 ，Google 咧就真係好差啦個股價變得。咁但係咧 Microsoft 就梗係彈上去啦。咁另外咧有啲就咁叫做 AI 嗰啲股啦，咁亦都咧係瘋狂咁彈咗上去。咁而家佢係高開啦，而家就回翻落嚟。咁啊，我哋睇翻隻 Microsoft 先。咁首先最簡單嘅睇法啦，你而家拉個黃金比率出嚟，究竟有冇嘢睇咧？咁我用翻最近期呢個頂啦，咁咧佢就去到760咧，嗰度就回一回緊嘅。咁而家未破到760啦。咁而家黃金比率咧，咁咧就係睇到呢樣嘢啦。咁之後咧，如果你睇下究竟有冇啲咩 trend 可以睇到咧，咁樣嗱，最簡單咧，我哋會睇到咧，首先佢咁樣吸引 handle 咗啦。OK。咁咧，佢條頸線咧就大約喺呢位嗰度 ，OK， 即係佢呢度上咗去，再破呢度 ，OK，back test 落嚟，再破咗上去呢度噶嘛。咁我話呢一條線咧，應該係佢短期咧最 valid 嘅一個支持位啦。咁啊，264左右啦，大約。咁咧，如果向上嘅咧，咁啊最近望就呢位啦，咁如果佢破到就會係 test 呢頂咯。咁我話你一格格咁樣睇好簡單 ，OK。個 comparison between Bard and Bing 咧，嗱 Bing 你頭先就睇到佢即係佢做咗唔同嘅 demo 啦，即係例如你 search 你行程啊，或者你可以佢做 coding 啊又得啦。之後 或者你問佢一啲，你可以例如你研究緊一樣嘢嘅時候，你可以一路問啊，咁究竟呢樣嘢係咩呢？咁再drill落去係點呢？咁樣一直drill落去啦，佢又係可以答到你啦。咁另外仲有就係咁話其他嗰啲 function 你可以睇翻頭先個 demo 啦。咁啊極度強大啦。咁咧但係 Google 咧，如果你睇翻等陣嚇。
各位做生意嘅朋友，
等先，
嗱，
唔係呢個，
已經開翻晒，但係嚟到2023年嘅2月，你有冇
？Google's new highly touted AI chatbot Bard
咁我而家再播翻俾你睇頭先 Google 究竟賴住乜嘢。
Bard was touted in an online ad by Google that ran in the company's Twitter feed. In the tweet, Google described the chatbot as a launchpad for curiosity that would help simplify complex topics, and it included a short GIF video ad of Bard in action. In the ad, Bard is given the prompt, quote, "What new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, can I tell my 9-year-old about?" Bard responds with a number of answers, including one suggesting the JWST was used to take the very first pictures of a planet outside the Earth's solar system, or exoplanets. This is inaccurate. The first pictures of exoplanets were taken by the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope in 2004, as confirmed by
其實大約睇到呢度得啦，因為咧其實佢 provide 個 information 咧本身咧就係有錯誤嘅，所以你話好啦，其實咁話新聞大部分咧都係報咗呢樣嘢，就冇報其他嘢，所以你話而家咧一個正常普通產股嘅人啦，咁話佢會見到啲咩咧？就係淨係知道咧 Google 嗰個 AI 出咗事。咁你話佢深層次嚟講，究竟係有啲咩分別啊？咁樣咁其實咧 Google 嗰個 demo 咧亦都冇 show 好多嘢，佢就純粹都係做咗啲類似 Microsoft 咁樣嘅 demo 啦。但係佢其實冇咁多，佢個 demo 係極度短，所以你話佢個賣點喺邊度咧？就暫時唔係好揾到。但係其實咧，我哋其實Google 嘅 search 咧，其實應該佔我哋全世界咧有90%左右嘅。咁啊，你如果 Google 咧佢將個 machine learning 咧抌喺嗰啲 search 嗰度咧，其實應該咧就會 generate 到更加好嘅 result 出嚟。咁啊，同中國搞嗰啲 AI 一樣嘅啫。你越多嗰啲人俾佢試嘢咧，就越易去試一個好嘅 result 出嚟嘅，就係咁啦。咁啊。咁但係點解佢冇咁做呢？咁相信呢都係因為同個資源分配有關啦。即係佢如果要咁樣去篩嗰啲資料嘅話，我諗對佢一啲 hardware 要求好高。咁可能佢唔想做呢樣嘢住，或者佢未做到，或者可能極度燒錢，所以佢唔做。應該就係呢類原因嘅。咁但係要 drill 落去呢，我就未知道。咁如果你真係好想知道個實際佢好 detail 嗰個分別咧，其實可能你可以揾一揾咧Bing 嗰個 full demonstration 嗰啲片去睇嘅。咁你可能可以揾到個好大嘅分別，但係我而家暫時就唔睇住，可能我哋聽日或者我聽朝可能會望一望之後再睇。 琴日講嗰隻核嗰隻嘢，而家已經升咗5% 啦 ，compare to yesterday。呢啲真係 easy trade 啊！呢啲就另外咧，睇下先啊。Unity 咧就好似有啲投行出咗個 positive 嘅報告，所以一夜彈上去。咁啊，但係其實我係想睇 DXY 等等。咁 DXY 就嗱呢外匯嗰啲咧，咁啊多數都極度 respect 啲 trend 嘅，咁佢就掂頂啦，咁之後而家回緊落去。OK， 咁佢回嘅時候，同時啲指數就升㗎，多數。咁嘅話咧，而家我哋睇細啲少少啦。咁啊，短期嘅support咧，佢應該就冇乜啦。而家睇下先啊，咁佢穿咗，有可能要再落到102.567左右嗰啲位，大嗰啲位先會 stop。之後另外咧，我哋睇咗隻，咁之後咧，之前迪士尼就換 CEO 嘅，咁嗰陣時我就專登出咗條片咧，係專講呢個 CEO 咁滯啊。就唔知講咗5-6分鐘啦，因為道指股咧講得耐咧就會冇人睇噶嗰條片，所以就唔可以講太耐。咁 anyway， 咁啊，好，咁我話如果睇翻張圖啦，咁呢個係 weekly 圖嚟嘅。咁我哋之前講過咧，最緊要咧就係呢條91線嘅啫。咁91條線咧，其實係講緊由呢個14年開始啦，捉出嚟嘅一個大底嚟嘅。OK， 即係不論就算嗰陣時咧都係小穿咗，即刻就收翻上去啦。咁啊，我哋去到大約呢位，佢好似換 CEO 嘅就係。咁之後咧有少少回升啦。OK， 咁之後咧就對穿咗少少。咁其實嗰陣時我哋講其實91咧係迪士尼一定要睇嘅收集嘅。如果你係想買呢隻嘢，你一定要就喺嗰啲91嗰啲位買。咁我話如果嗰陣時你有睇到嘅咧，咁你而家應該都係賺緊30%左右咯。睇下先啊，係咯，啱就29%，啱30%咯。咁你其實當然啦，其實你見到好多嗰啲成分股啊，成都近期係彈咗30%。咁所以你話佢係咪一個好特別嘅例子？咁話係咪因為個 CEO 咁？而家你未體現到嘅，不過佢張圖就係比較易捉咯，呢個。同埋你話而家啲股係咪好力呢？咁呢，我自己就同啲 friend 傾偈啦。咁啊，我自己同佢哋講嘅呢，就係，如果係真係咁好力呢，點解琴日 Microsoft 彈上去都要回落嚟呢？如果真係咁好力嘅話，點解 Facebook 會喺呢啲位㗎嘛，一直揼住喺度唔上埋去 let's say 210？即係琴日其實好牛㗎嘛，一開始嗰下，咁但係都回咗落嚟咁一定係有啲嘢唔係好 support 佢咁樣升法咯。咁所以你話個市係咪話好牛啊？一定掂啊咁樣？咁我就有少少保留啦，對呢樣嘢。 同埋第二樣就係其實你見到嗱指數唔係升好多啊，但係你會見到平時我哋睇開嘅一啲股，例如 TSLA 啊、NVDA 嗰啲係升到好勁噶嘛。咁話即係要有部分嘅股升得冇咁勁，或者甚至跌，先可以令到呢啲股升得咁勁，個指數都唔升得好多嘅啫，係咪先？嗱，呢個好簡單嘅一個道理啊。咁話即係話你個升市咧並唔係咁全面啊。咁同埋你見到好多中小股啦，其實近呢幾日咧係跌得好犀利啊都。咁所以你話會唔會個 market 咁樣就好好咧？咁樣而家個 momentum 睇落咧就集中咗喺好少數嘅股啦。咁咧同埋咧，例如啲垃圾股啦，你會見到咧佢去到阻力嗰度咧，佢係一直都衝唔破呢啲阻力咯。即係至少你玩咗2個星期，佢衝唔破啦。咁如果我哋睇呢個垃圾代表就係 ARKK 嘅話咧，你都會見到就係佢之前星期四啦，上個星期四爆咗上去嗰下咧，其實呢5-6日咧，全部都喺度 consolidate 緊嘅，其實都好冇方向噶個市係。咁話我就所以就唔係好明話點可以好單方面咁話超牛咁樣。咁當然啦，佢成個軌跡係45度咁斜上去啦，可能有20-30度咁斜上去添。咁但係近一個星期嘅事實同你講就係佢係一個橫行嘅格局。其實冇乜出到方向。未睇到究竟要做乜嘢，所以冇嘢做。不過其實今個月頭咁順利，講真真係而家係9號啊嘛。其實月頭之前咁多日都咁順利咧，真係有少無心戀戰，好鬼想唞下真係。所以你話而家睇到都唔係話覺得好大把握嗰啲咧，都唔會亂咁衝入去。M15啊，你講？ 咦發現咗樣幾搞笑嘅嘢喎，即係琴日 P-market 呢一紮同今日 P-market 嗰一紮係同高度嘅喎。頭先再縮遠啲，有冇啲咩睇？就冇乜啦。咁啱唔知啊，呢兩日嘅開市都係玩同一個高度。咁但係你話好啦，個 P-market 咁樣上去，代唔代表之後會升呢？咁樣其實唔關事，你都係睇翻而家究竟想點樣。不過呢個只係一個小發現啊，對睇呢位應該冇乜用。頭先群裏邊有人想 short 高，咦？其實頭先個位幾靚喎，但係其實四條上已經上咗0.618。不過如果拉近少睇呢，就係 let's say 1 hour 的話呢，應該就有另一番風味啦。即係你會見到呢，呢一條啦，係一個 perfect 嘅升軌嚟，即係 perfect 嘅微升軌或者叫。咁我咁樣綁住佢。 即係揸 VIX 咧，唔一定係 expect 佢要有大跌先至可以揸 VIX， 即係 expect 個 volatility 上升都可以揸 VIX。頭先我冇答到你 VIX， 我話其實你唔需要 expect 佢跌先要揸 VIX， 其實你係睇個波幅噶嘛。我啱啱想講嘅就係 Google 而家差唔多就已經去到我哋個第一 support。個 Microsoft 首先打咗一支針啦，呢度再打第二支針啊，咁唔知佢之後應該會唔會一嘢又懟落去啊，定係可以收復到呢啲針頂？咁 Tesla 我就唔知佢升咩，不過圖啊係升。但我覺得幾得意喎，但係你咁多人問 VIX 嘅，你好多人揸 VIX 咩？哇！你睇下啲打交打到咁樣，其實你睇針咁長，你就知道打交打得好犀利。其實話佢咪 drop like crazy 啦，其實你見到佢之前咁大成交，咁啊當然係因為 earning 後啦，咁之後大成交咁唔得啦。咁啊，不過如果佢破唔到呢啲位咧，都即係而家佢玩個比較窄嘅位就係呢度同呢度，咁我要睇下佢究竟之後點樣行，或者可能會整支旗咁樣都唔奇嘅，即係。可 可能佢會咁樣啦。之後呢，做個類似咁樣嘅走法都唔奇，咁都要睇一睇佢之後點樣行。HSI 我係唔會公開講啊，所以問都係冇用嘅。NQ， 我當你係啲超短炒嗰啲人啦。即係如果我自己睇 NQ 啊，如果我要超短炒呢，咁我會睇呢啲位睇下入唔入到。如果我有第二注入嘅呢，我就會睇呢啲位入唔入到。咁但係呢，如果穿大咗呢啲位呢，我就點都會走啦。我就只可以同你咁樣講。但我唔知你係啲點樣炒嘅人，所以我唔知道點樣。咁我其實呢嚿就係呢度個下影個平排位嚟嘅，咁啱就會係。咁如果你頭先講超短炒嘅思路，我就係咁樣。咁如果我係搏嘅，我就會喺呢度入；否則呢，我就會等呢位睇下會唔會 back test 呢位。咁如果 let's say 好啦，呢個位冇咁靚入到啊，我當係呢個位入嘅咁樣。咁而家我會點做呢？即係我呢係啲覺得唔輸就係贏嗰啲人嚟嘅，即係我可能會 lock 住個價喺呢啲位咯。即係嗱，我當你冇咁靚仔喺我當你呢度買唔到啊，我當 miss 咗啦咁樣，呢度入咗場，咁咧我會 lock 咗喺呢度先咯。咁我會揸住7點，點到揸住7點，咁之後睇下佢究竟推唔到上去。嗱，最緊咁佢上去嘅話，其實而家最緊要睇住呢啲位啊嘛。OK， 你見到佢 back test 咗唔得嘅，而家暫時。咁佢打唔打穿咧？嗱，呢1 minutes 圖咧就好易穿嘅，其實。咁我哋睇翻3 minutes 有冇嘢睇？嗱，未有啲咩太睇嘅嘢睇。5 minutes 有冇啊？咁樣 OK。咁去翻1 minutes。咁最緊要佢唔好咁樣打翻落嚟就得。咁對我嚟講，至少我自己點樣賺7點先啊？咁我當而家好啦，佢回咗，咁我話你要 suppose 食咗啦，係咪先？咁咪再等咯，係咪啊？咁咪再等佢懟落嚟，你先再諗開唔開咯。我只會咁諗咯。但係你而家好啦，再睇下啲情況就係，好啦，佢呢度可以針出嚟，呢度可以針出嚟，呢度可以針出嚟。OK， 咁話呢支針究竟食唔食到啊 ？OK， 咁如果你話下一支 M 屈，佢頂到超過呢支竹嘅。咁即係佢向好吞噬啦，係咪？咁話佢向上嘅機會就大好多咯。咁因為你會見到，即係嗱，假設而家呢支綠色竹打得穿上邊呢度嘅話，咁呢一紮去到呢一紮嗰啲全部輸晒噶嘛。咁呢一紮全部都輸噶啦。咁話佢哋會點平倉啊？呢一紮沽咗嘅人。呢紮沽咗嘅人喺呢度一定會平啦，係咪先？咁話你作為一個如果係好友嗰邊嘅話，你梗係想夾到呢度一爆之後，佢哋要再平嘅話，再谷多一段啦。咁話希望再谷到去726咁樣去玩噶嘛，係咪？就係咁啦。咁所以呢，嗱，呢度你見到佢，佢打到上去，咁話可能你會呢啲去追 call， 就好過你去就係咁咯。我自己成個諗法就係 AI 我冇得睇啊。AI 炒到咁癲嘅股呢，你估佢幾時回做乜鬼啊？真係 P Peter 你講 SH 係 refer 緊邊樣嘢？睇下先啊。How to trade NQ on IB？ 嗱 ，How to trade NQ on IB 咧？嗱，我又係呢個 promote 我呢個 Discord 嘅時間。咁咧，如果你去到我嘅 Discord 嗰度啦，咁咧你喺呢個公告及教學嗰度啦，咁之後咧會見到咧有期指期權嘅教學嘅。咁喺呢個期指期權嘅教學嗰度咧，咁啊，我除咗講啲唔同嘅結算啦，睇期權有啲咩 source 可以睇到啦，咩叫高低水啊，呢啲唔同嘅 keyword 可以你有解釋啦。咁咧其中一個咧就係 contract size 嘅列表啊。咁咧如果你 click 落去啦，之後放大佢啦，你就可以睇到晒唔同嘅 contract 嘅 ticker number 啊係乜嘢。咁咧呢度有個 Excel 啊，我係可以俾你 download 落嚟你個電腦嗰度嘅，專登整俾你哋嘅。咁話你喺入邊咧就可以用search function 啦，去 search 翻你想做嘅嘢。咁例如你話 Nasdaq 納指啊嘛，咁 Nasdaq 咁打啲 Nasdaq 落去，咁話佢就會同你講 mini 嘅 Nasdaq 同埋呢個大嘅 Nasdaq 咧各自係幾多點咁樣嘅。嗱，我而家傾埋落去啦，等等。好啦，咁咧張圖放大咗啦，咁你會見到咁樣嘅。咁啊，呢個係 sponsor by 我哋嘅多執權期股。咁之後咧，例如你話我要做Nasdaq 100嘅mini 嘅期指咁樣，佢個 symbol 即係個 ticker 啦，咁啊 MNQ 啦。咁咧佢呢度就講俾你聽，佢每行一格咧係幾多嘅，即係佢0.25一格，咁啊0.5毫子嘅一格嘅。咁你乘翻，咁如果佢行足一格嘅話，即係佢每升1點嘅話，咁啊即係4格啦，咁啊即係2蚊咯。咁你話好啦，我要玩大期嘅咁樣 ，NQ 就係大期啦。咁話你會見到係5蚊就0.25格。咁話升1點嘅話，佢就係5、4中20就係20蚊，就係咁啦。Tesla 我好明佢係唔需要理由炒上，但係我都覺得真係好癲啊！即係我係畫張圖真係好癲，但係是但啦係。喂，居然用 SH 當 short 你真係啊！真係見到 SH 我以為係 stronghold 嘅啫，大佬。咁如果 short 嘅話，你有幾個位嘅？咁啊，第一究竟呢啲有冇位俾你睇咧？咁樣 ，OK。或者如果打平嘅。咁明顯呢啲係啲阻力位啦，咁咧好友咧極大機會又推到呢啲位，咁啊啱啊即刻到啦，咁佢會喺度回嘅正常，咁啊你會見到咧其實係一個好純正嘅上升三角形嚟，咁話其實你話你真係要 put 咧，你至少咧見到一個咧成個勢咧開始逆轉，你先可以有機會 put，咁啊你有咩機會會有出現逆轉咧？咁樣嗱，因為你係睇啲足出到升路啦，唔係話咧。你可能掛咧，你都要掛呢啲位啦。或者如果睇遠少少，睇 M15咧。但係如果你睇 M15咧，你再去睇 put 咧就大 Q 鑊噶啦，因為咧你可能要去到呢啲位。但問題就係呢啲位上邊咧，仲有呢啲位咁樣一直推上去。咁好啦，咁如果你有 day trader，你唔會玩到咁癲噶嘛。 咁話你係睇翻細啲嘅，咁話你會喺啲足嘅 momentum 入邊去揾一啲位去 put。咁但係最大嘅問題就係、你呢度一個上升三部曲出咗嚟，之後呢度睇嚟又會出到啩，咁睇下呢度收落嚟收唔收到。咁你睇翻 M1 啦，即係而家暫時仲 respect 緊呢個頂啦，但係佢好大機會穿㗎都。咁所以要慢慢再睇下究竟得唔得咯。其實你話爆升前清個倉呢樣嘢，我覺得冇得後悔。如果調翻轉，你冇清之後，深敲你揸嗰啲嘢出咗事嘅話，你點樣成交呢？佢叫 NQ 暫時都 respect 緊呢兩個嘅咁樣。咁睇下第二 ES 啊，道指你一睇就知道佢係一啲偏強嘅足嘅走勢嚟。咁啊 ES 就有機會又上翻去4161左右啦。所以我覺得你呢個爆升前清咗倉係不需要唔開心嘅，因為你啲錢就係另有目的，咁啊冇辦法。咁唔通有人同你講你今期鴻運當頭，你會唔會攞嗰嚿錢去買六合彩一樣啫嘛？你唔會咁做噶嘛？你冇話 TSLA、AMZN 都唔係NVDA 都夠晒癲啦，真係都唔知升乜啊！講真，即係圖係升我知嘅，但係實際上我真係唔知佢究竟升唔升。好啦，咁啊又睇翻呢啲啦，咁啊 AMZN 又係你會見到咧，佢掂上面紫色線咧，咁啊又回落嚟啦，咁啊係有尊重嘅咁樣啦。OK。咁啊 ，Microsoft 而家我仲係 prototype 啦，咁啊或者係俾少部分人試用緊啦，所以其實我哋未體驗到佢呢個究竟到底有幾強大。咁啊，嗱頭先佢都有講啦，如果咧你想試用咧，其實咧你而家咧佢係俾咗所有嘅賬戶咧一個 limited 嘅 call 去做呢樣嘢㗎。咁所以咧，其實大家咧係應該咧去試下去用，咁啊親自感受過咧先至知道嗰樣嘢好唔好。Kevin， 你嗰度咧，你首先咧你要去網頁版個 IB 啦，咁之後咧你要睇下你嘅權限咧，究竟有冇剔到可以做期指交易先，同埋可能你想睇嘅，你話睇埋嗰啲 option 交易究竟有冇剔到可以做先咁樣。咁如果你發覺我個 option 唔存在咧，可能你咧要做翻嗰啲咩風險問卷調查嗰啲嘢咧，你要做咗嗰啲嘢咧，你先至可以再剔埋你個先至可以開放你個期指權限。咁話如果你上去網頁版而家做啦 ，let's say， 咁咧我記得咧佢2日內咧就會俾到結果你噶啦，即係就會開個權限俾你。咁最緊要咧就係佢可能有啲嘢咧涉及就係話你有幾多年經驗啊，幾多年嗰啲你有幾多錢啊，或者你輸唔輸得起嗰啲咧，咁啊請你如實作答啦。咁如果你唔如實作答咧，你係一個非常保守嘅人，之後你夾硬答咗非常 aggressive 咧，咁係唔啱嘅。雖然佢開放到俾你，但係咁樣係唔啱嘅。咁我話係啦，就係咁啦。好啊，你見到佢已經開始好反抗緊呢上邊呢條阻力。咁話佢會唔會回到呢度有即彈呢？咁樣，咁我哋會拭目以待。咁其實 Amazon 講真，你見到佢開呢粒咁嘅嘢之後裂口翻落嚟，呢度係淨一粒勁標準嘅沽到黃昏之星，乜鬼嘢唔好嘅形態都齊集於一身喺度啦。呢3支已經，咁我話之後嗰幾支點樣可以一嘢就反佢台咧？咁樣好困難噶嘛。同埋本身呢一度已經係一個大阻力嚟噶啦嘛。OK。會有好多唔同嘅人用呢個位做阻力噶嘛，咁本身呢個係難穿噶，呢個根本係一個奇蹟啦。咁之後你呢個回落嚟，根本係最合理嘅事啦。佢冇一嘢咁樣懟落嚟，已經係最佳結果啦，對佢嚟講。而家ENPH 又到咗 target one啦，咁啊而家睇下佢會唔會穿到啦。咁啊相信 Google 咧聽日都應該會到嘅。咁話如果你係一個淡友或者你好想買佢股票嘅人咧，你係非常之期待佢咧會補到呢個裂口，因為佢補到呢個裂口的話咧，佢就會直接開啟呢個86大門嘅。TSM 都有一段時間冇睇過，我哋一齊去睇下咁樣。TSM test range 頂，TSM 咧有一個非常重要嘅位啊，如果向上嘅話，先就係呢個位啦。咁啊，你會見到咧，之前好多次嘅承托啦，之後呢度 back test 過一次，咁之後就冧落嚟。OK，咁咧你知咧，呢個價位就係一個極度重要嘅位嚟，喺佢長遠少少嚟講啊。而家佢仲有大約15% 就去到啦。咁啊，佢而家咧就已經穿咗呢一條線噶啦。OK，咁其實你會覺得個情況同 Tesla 有啲似嘅係咪？咁話嗱 Tesla 咧而家張台咁啊，又係穿咗呢條線，咁啊爆上去之後咧呢一度又係啦，穿咗呢條線佢而家爆緊上去，其實會覺得好相似咯呢啲圖。好啦，咁如果我頭先話啦，咁啊，如果你係一個納指嘅淡友的話咧，你呢啲阻力位啦，咁啊。 其實呢個係一個形態嚟，又係即係又係呢啲收窄之後 fake extend 之後 big up 插落嚟咧，呢個係一個形態嚟，我唔記得咗叫咩名，總之呢個係一個形態嚟。咁之後如果呢啲對得咧，好大機會係對穿下邊呢度嘅，即係個 starting point 係對得穿嘅，就好大機會。係啦，咁就即刻對穿咗啦，已經係。咁啊，應該你可以見到126噶啦，而家咁樣就。咁如果我哋頭先用咁少喺翻琴日開 put 個位咧，而家已經係爽緊。Anyway。不過近期冇睇過 crypto， 睇一睇先下。因為咧喺 group 裏邊啦，就有人話：咦，點解 crypto 會唔升嘅咁樣？因為其實個市好似好牛啊，咁但係佢 crypto 好似唔升咁樣。咁我都係咁講啦，就係其實個市係咪真係好牛咧？咁樣總之我見到個指數喺度 range 緊啫，我睇唔到好牛。咁 ETH 咧，呢度就整緊啲類似細旗仔嘅嘢啊。Con 呢排就前嗰排就對咗上786咧，之後就而家俾人掃緊翻落嚟啊，咁啊冇乜嘢睇啊呢啲股。SI 就仲樣衰添，第一關都過唔到啦，咁啊已經落緊嚟。咁啊 Mara 呢啲股咧就亦都係垃圾股之王之一啦，呢啲係。咁你會見到啦，我呢度四條線落嚟咧，其實你又好清楚睇到啦。咁嘅話，佢一個弧形落嚟之後 back test 再落，咁呢啲係一個好殘嘅形態嚟嘅。咁呢啲都唔使點話啦，你都睇到係點樣啦。好啦，咁啊睇翻隻 UEC 啊，咁琴日總之就講話你係 trend 底就應該係入嘅咁樣。咁啊，你而家駁咗上嚟呢度啦，咁話你見到咧，佢已經上咗呢一度噶啦。OK， 佢而家頂住咗啦喺度，亦都係個裂口嗰度啦。咁所以你會明白，點解佢呢度會頂翻落嚟呢度，佢要再打過呢？咁樣，佢係會再打嘅，肯定係再打。即係你好啦，就算佢 push back 翻落嚟，即係你預佢可能今日可能3.92嘅，就算收翻落去，咁都唔係問題啊，未出事啊，呢啲係你要再睇佢究竟係咪穿呢條底，你先至呢度入嘅。其實你係爽噶，應該係，因為你如果佢真係穿咗呢條 trend line，你其實可以平手走啊，你已經贏緊噶啦呢啲 trade。咁而家呢張圖就 Microsoft 線圖啦。咁如果你睇翻細少少咧，30分鐘。好啦，咁我又係識翻嗰啲 P 同 Post Market 先啦。我去玩 Regular Trading Hour，咁你啲圖又舒服啲嘅，睇得 OK。你冇咗嗰啲小成交嘅噪音。好啦，咁之後當睇翻4 hour 咁樣。咁要睇下，咁究竟佢會唔會回翻落嚟？即係最緊要都係呢條2265。 咁15分鐘係易睇啲啊，終於。咁我話你會睇到呢一度個支持而家 form 咗喺呢度。咁啊，呢個係短線支持嚟嘅。咁啊，你要睇下佢究竟會唔會穿呢度。穿呢度嘅話，就自然就係267啦。如果唔穿嘅話，你會 expect 佢就喺啲273嗰啲位。咁但係呢個係超短期㗎啦，貨。你 pull back 係講緊邊樣嘢 pull back， 或者係你係想做好友等佢 pull back 做好友啊，定係做淡友等佢 pull 上去之後做淡友呢？因為頭先太多張圖啊，唔係好明你講緊邊張。如果你大約有問題嘅，盡快少嘛。應該開多大約5分鐘左右就完啦。話時話，我講個壞消息俾你聽。呢個壞消息呢，就係下個星期就係情人節，所以你哋一係呢就繼續做單身狗，一係呢你如果拍拖嘅話呢，你就要使一大筆錢。 係喎，情人節出 CPI 喎，勁 PK 喎。唔係咁咪好咯，嗱，即係佢嗰日出 CPI 嘅話，咪即係叫大家嗱盤前咧就唔好玩啦，即係咧叫你去做你中意做嘅嘢，咁之後先至即係嗰日最好就掂都唔掂咯，佢可以玩少一日咯，出 CPI 最好啦，係咪先？嗱，試下 Microsoft。其實去食中餐啦，中餐唔使訂啊。272.2，其實272.2你 short 個位好靚喎。至於你話再加住270.4啊，即係呢一度究竟會唔會太遲？等陣先，我撇走咗啲 P 同 Post Market 先啊。嗱，其實即係如果我最簡單咁睇啊，呢一個位係琴日嗰個 support， 而家你打緊呢個位啊，今日呢一度都頂住咗一次啊，而家頂緊第二次啊，暫時我哋未知佢破唔破啦，係咪先？咁你喺呢個位加呢，因為你本身呢度有嘛，咁你喺呢個位加其實冇乜問題，你只係扣低咗呢個成本嘅，咁我話你都係賺嘅嘛，你大約係去到呢個位顯示啦，咁其實講真，如果佢彈翻上呢個位，你 take profit， 你冇事啊，冇事冇幹啦，唔痛啊，係咪先 ？OK， 你可以做呢個 trade 嘅原因，主要係因為你呢度有 put 到，你先至撳左定粒六啫嘛，可以。咁我其實你已經贏緊㗎。OK， 咁啊，之後你而家你要睇咩啫？而家就係你究竟呢一度呢一紮嘢究竟穿唔穿啫嘛 ？OK， 如果你呢度回上之後咁樣落咧，係冇問題嘅。或者佢落完之後上之後再落咧，咁你都係冇事嘅。咁啊，如果你話我唔係喎，佢一嘢上到去，佢一嘢就打翻穿呢啲位，之後佢完全冇意欲落翻去咧，咁你先至要諗走咯。即係如果你係咁靚呢度入咗嘅話，你又點玩都得。咁最主要都係 take over 呢位咧，你 take out 到呢啲位，你就可以睇落呢度噶啦。咁而家其實成個勢都頹頹地啊，納指都係啊，其實納指都唔係好得去邊啊。如果你睇埋 ES 都係頹頹地啊。我其實唔係好明點解盤前會扯得咁勁，之後盤前咧淨好似開晒香檳咁樣，哇！真係唔知搞乜鬼啊，真係。其實喺我眼中咧，我覺得好似得呢個 TSLA 啦，同埋 NVDA 升緊。係啊，我嗰 set break even 係最好，即係我覺得我自己覺得啊嚇，如果佢打咗上去咁打咗個 break even，你咪再揾位開過咯，no harm 噶嘛。你最驚係嗰啲打穿咗之後一支大陽咁飆上去之後，搞到夾翻自己轉頭，呢啲係最唔抵噶嘛？呢啲係，呢就係我自己諗法。好啊，咁啊，我見到新問題，今日就差唔多啦。咁啊，多謝晒大家，大家記得去 book 位啊，記得去消費。阿波叔都叫你齊快啲去消費，去一齊帶旺經濟，就係咁啦。多謝大家。